We didn't have an episode planned this week because it's 4th of July and we thought we deserved the week off.
And we want you to be celebrating America and everyone who served our country so that we could talk about it on this free podcast.
Right.
America.
But, you know, we did want to follow up with the loss episode and kind of
for sure.
talk about the response to it because we were blown away.
Their feedback was unbelievable. I felt like it's really what Jessica needed. She needed people to be supportive of her, and she needed the utmost,
the encouragement, the kindness, the pure love.
Yeah, it blew me away. It really did. And I felt it, and I wasn't even the one, and I felt it.
And you know, I really truly feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Do you feel better?
I'm not kidding. I was carrying around this burden with me and this secret, like this dirty secret. And
yeah,
I you know this. I was so scared for that episode.
Yeah,
to air.
I know, and I kept worrying about you being worried about the episode, and it was like
even want to
stressful.
listen back to it. I listened to every episode we do like a psychopath, and I edit. Yeah, I annoy Alan.
Paste,
yes, and I'm like, Alan, I'm trusting you with this one. Like I can't listen to it, but. After it aired and after I started getting the messages, I was like, let me listen back. And I'm glad I did because the doctor we had on was incredible. And it actually, you know, when we were interviewing her, I wasn't taking in everything she was saying and listening back. Really, I was like, wow, like she gave really good advice.
The week after we spoke to her, I bought flowers and put them in my house. Like, I mean, it literally changed me. Like, I felt so different. And I told my mom was like, oh, what was last week's episode? Because she doesn't really listen
to that one.
My mom would die. We are way too vulgar for my mom.
Not on the loss episode.
I mean, I guess, but
you're
like,
right. She might go down the
she
rabbit
might
hole.
continue to rabbit hole it, and I don't need her to. But she was like, what was it about? And I was like, because my mom's like a huge lover of flowers. Like, she'll go and spend her last dime on a flower. Me, a lipstick, but her a flower. And she's like, they're just so beautiful. And I'm like, I know, but Mom, it's like the saddest thing ever for me. You cut them from their world. You put them in a vase. You look how beautiful they are. You admire them from afar, and then they die in front of you. I'm like, it's nothing sadder. And my mom was like, you literally are starting to ruin flowers for me.
To look at
and
it.
I'm like, but Mom, and I was like, but this therapist told me to appreciate its beauty and how happy it makes you, and it literally made me think of it a different way. But I did throw it out before they started dying because I was so sad that they were going to die in front of me. Like, yeah.
Dr. Nikki Monty, wow, like, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, she just like made me think of it in a different way. I'm still sad for them to get to die, but I had to throw them out. Like, as soon as they started getting a little crunchy, I was like, goodbye, crunchy. I was like, goodbye, it's time to throw them out. And Skylar's like, where'd the flowers go? And I was like, I have to throw them out. Mommy can't handle it.
You know, my inbox and bad examples inbox, oh my God. And I'm getting through every message. And
she does so good with responding, you guys.
But it's honestly, we get a million messages as it is, but after this episode, I've never been the amount of like kindness that you guys have, that, you know, because I connect to people who just wanted to say, I've heard everything. I've never experienced this, but I want you to know that I'm so sorry and my prayers are with you. And then I talked to people who had stories almost parallel to mine, which was crazy. Almost exact, like mirror image. And then I heard stories that I never heard before. I mean, my inbox is full of rainbow babies. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I mean, connecting with all these women was so beautiful. And I wish the support was there all the time. Like, not just for me. Do you know what I mean? And Trey, if you read these messages, they were like, I know you have a lot of friends and a lot of followers, but I want you to know if you ever want to talk, you can message me.
That's so
strangers.
Nice. So nice.
Strangers. Like, it was crazy. And the one common thread that I heard from all of these women who had experienced a miscarriage was guilt, was loneliness. And
you know what? I didn't even ask the person that I talked about in the episode, like, what they thought of it, because it's such a sensitive subject.
Did she bring it up at all or no?
When I told her that we talked about it, she said, you could have said my name. I told her it wasn't my place to, but it was my sister-in-law.
Oh, we're dropping that? Mom?
Yeah, because she told me you could have said it. It's okay. And I was like, I felt like it wasn't my place, but now that she's given me the okay.
So did you guys talk about the episode at all?
No, because I want her to listen to it on her time.
Right. Is she not doing it on purpose? Because usually
I don't know.
listens.
She does listen. And she's always like, ha ha, ha, that's me. Yeah. But like, I think this was a rough episode. She needs to like listen to it when she's ready. In like a mood. Mm-hmm. Like, she needs to be in the mood for it.
I get it.
But yeah, it was my sister-in-law Tara. You guys all know her and love her and always say like what a great mom she would be and what a great aunt she is to my kids. And like, yeah, it's really hard for her sometimes to even hear that because she was pregnant and she wanted that, and she did lose a baby, and it's horrifying every day for her. So I always feel bad, and I never want to expose her. But when she said like, it's okay, you can say, I think maybe she thought that it would help somebody, because somebody may understand maybe who always ask her like, oh, why doesn't Tara have kids? She's so great with kids. Like, this is why. And I think that
this is also why everybody should mind their own. It's like not bring this up to women ever, because you don't know what everyone's going through. You don't know their stories. You don't know if this is something that they've wanted or maybe something they haven't wanted. It's just personal. Part of the feedback that was really special to me is that I had so many messages that were from women who'd never experienced it, who said, now I know how to offer support to my friends, to my family who have gone through it. And I didn't know what to say before, how to act or the right thing. And this has like really been eye-opening for me.
Yeah, it's totally like a scary subject, because you never want to say the wrong thing to somebody, because somebody in grieving, you never know how they grieve. So it's always like really touch and go. But if you know somebody who's gone through this, I feel like there's no harm in.
You know what my aunt said to me that I thought was kind of brilliant? She said, don't be afraid. You know how when somebody loses somebody, like they lose a husband, they lose a father, a sibling, you're afraid to bring it up, right? Because you don't want to upset them. Yeah. Well, my aunt lost her husband, and I think everyone tiptoes around bringing up my uncle, right? And she goes, don't think you're going to upset me. I'm already upset.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's really no coming back.
She says, I'm already upset. Talk to me about it. Like, let's keep his memory alive. Like, let's, so I do think when it comes to loss, I think like Tracy with the flowers, like it freaks her out. It's scary. And I get it. It's scary. Death is scary, but it's something that, I think we need to be, when you're going through it, you don't want to do it alone.
I almost think that it's like healthier to incorporate that person in everyday life. Like my best friend Sammy lost her Uncle Howie, and like we constantly talk about to my Aunt Barry how we're like, oh my God, that's something Uncle Howie would do. Or like, oh my God, that's so Uncle Howie. Like we always say that, and we always kind of keep him involved in like the conversations.
It's what you do with Corey's father, and it's amazing.
Oh my God. Well, that's a constant. But like, even somebody
who realize a lot of people don't do that. People
it's scary to me that people like pretend they never existed. It's very scary, because I'm just like, how can you shut somebody out like that quick? Like I still talk about Gene. Like the other day, like every time my girls see a fucking balloon, they're like, can we release it to Poppy? I'm like, sure. Like I'm not thinking about the dolphins that are going to choke on that rubber balloon.
I was just going to say,
what I'm thinking about is fucking my kids acknowledging their deceased grandfather who they're dying to keep in their life. Like,
so Denny he doesn't listen, but he listened to this episode because he was like,
it was directly affected to him.
Yeah. Right? And I was showing him all the messages and stuff, and he's like, what did you say to get this response? So he listened, and he had two things to say. One, he said, like, hearing your voice broke my heart. He said I was brave. So many people call me brave, and it's just a bizarre thing. Like, it wasn't brave. Like, it was
very brave. Don't diminish that. It was very brave. It was huge.
It was. I didn't think of it like that. It's so weird. I just wanted.
It took a lot for you to even accept that was an episode coming up, let alone to talk about and expose your own stuff. I thought that was huge.
It's crazy. And oh my God. And by the way, I've heard from friends with children that fessed up. I also had a miscarriage, and I was like, my mind was blown.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But anyway, so he said, one, your voice broke my heart. Two, you were brave. And three, he said, balloons kill animals.
Yeah.
You love animals.
I mean, leave it to Denny.
I was like, thanks, Jen.
Jen.
Yeah.
And I always say that every time I release a balloon, I'm like, fucking other animal's gonna die because of this. But at the same time, like, at least my children are keeping alive a spirit that's important to them. Like, I gotta fucking 50-50 that out a little bit.
We gotta figure out something else to send to the heavens.
I mean, like, what else floats? I mean, help a sister out here. Like, I'm trying to help, like, keep them alive without keeping the animals dead.
And you know what? I really want this episode to like live on. So keep sharing it with everyone you know.
So major, guys. This was the biggest response we've ever gotten to an ep. Like, this was huge. This was majorly important. Mental health is no joke. It's something that needs to be talked about. And I felt like we did it in a respectful way, yet a little bit of comic relief and like happiness and laughing. And
Dr. Nikki was
Dr. Nikki fucking killed it.
I will listen to that shit on repeat. Like when I'm feeling
low. Just listen to her. I fast forward through our fucking annoying
I have
voices.
her number. I feel like I just kind of want to text her.
Do you want to text her and be like, hey, sorry for the free advice, but I'm just like feeling really low today. And she'll be like, find your inner love. And I'll be like, holy fucking shit.
Like,
that's all it takes.
Break open. And you're like,
her voice is so relaxing. It literally put me in like a trance. And I'm like, yeah, she's right. Like, it was so weird. I'm like, no wonder the Kardashians are all like, Yeah, because they're like so Dr. Nickied out.
They're so Dr. Nikki.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah, again, guys, I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I feel like a new person.
She like looks different. It's weird. She has like
I
a weird
do.
glow that she's
I've been
like
doing
very,
my makeup, my hair again. Like
she's very
I'm
like
getting back into it.
transformed into like
more open fit. Like
Oh yeah. I hope that cut is in here this week. She's just like you could tell she's not depressed anymore. Like she's very happy with the response, and you guys, thank you for supporting her.
And you should see me in talking to these people. They're like, and some women are literally going, "You're the first person I've told this to."
That's fucking insane.
It's insane.
That should
and
never
I told
happen.
them, I go, listen. I fucking told a million people, and I feel amazing. Tell everyone who will listen.
Yeah, just
your story.
Be on the grocery line, and then be like, "Oh my god, it's such a beautiful day out," and be like, "Yeah, I didn't think I'd see a beautiful day after my miscarriage," and they'll be like, "Oh my god, honey, that's so sad," and then you be like, "You know what? I'm dealing with it," and somehow they'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
Just throw it fuck in there.
I bet my life that stranger in the grocery store will say,
"It's gonna say a prayer for you," or they're gonna give you a relating story.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's nuts. It's crazy. It's changed. My outlook on everything, and I do have to. And get this.
What?
So I totally didn't mean for this to come across like this on the episode, but you know how I told you how I felt. I felt alone. I felt lonely. Trey, all of my friends, every single one of my best friends, text me, and my mother, and said,
"I saw your mother's one. I cried.
I know
reading your mom's. Yeah, that was hard."
They said, I want you to know if I wasn't there for you enough, I'm sorry. I did my best, and
can you read what your mom said?
That's so sad.
I'll read it if you don't want to read it, but somebody needs to read what your mom said, because I literally sat there and cried. It was sometimes like parents, when they're dying to have you share with them, and some people and kids and mothers, like they don't really have that. So like, they'll tell you stuff, but they don't have that run to you for every moment thing.
Well,
and like,
because like she'll try and I'll be nasty and I'll shut her down if she tries to get
because
too
you're
close.
kind of cold and she's dying for you to warm up. But this fucking scarred me for life. She sent it to me. She goes, "Look what my mom wrote," and I started hysterically crying. I was like, "Oh my god!" I don't even know how I'm gonna read it, but we'll see. Jessica's mom texts her, "Listening to the podcast. I'm sorry, Jess, if I didn't react the way you needed when you went through this. I definitely felt the loss, and I thought I understood your pain, but I guess I didn't communicate it well. I am so sorry you felt alone. I should have been more there for you. Sometimes it's hard for me to comfort you. I never know whether you want it or not. I hug you in my mind and in my heart more than you know." Well, I started fucking hysterically crying. And Jess wrote, "I told you not to listen. It wasn't directed at you." She said, "Of course not. I didn't mean it to imply that at all. I think the episode was so important to have. It's an important subject to talk about, and so many people are lost and confused. I don't even know how to react to it. I hope this episode will help, even if it only helps one person." Like, what a beautiful mom. Like, she's exactly what every mom needs to say but doesn't know how to communicate. Like, that fucking changed me with her. It was so beautiful. Like, I don't know. It was just like Jessica and her family are like, they're so weird. Funny. Like, no, they're so funny and they're so fast to like joke about something, but like at the same time, like the raw real shit, sometimes they don't reach it because they're like, "Oh, don't hug me. Like, don't do that." Can
I have you read one more thing too?
Yeah, of course.
So one of my other friends said, because I had talked about how on Mother's Day that no one reached out and then it like kind of felt shitty. And she said, "I just want you to know I wrote something to you on Mother's Day. I kept deleting it, rewriting it, and I have it saved in my notes. You could see the date. I never sent it to you, but I want to send it to you now."
Yeah.
And it's literally dated from Mother's Day. And it's beautiful.
Hold on.
So I think it's worth a read because I think anyone who's gone through it should feel like this.
I'm not sure if this is something you want to speak of or not, but it's something I want to say to you. You don't have to respond if you prefer. I won't be insulted. Happy Mother's Day. You are a mother. You will always be a mother regardless of what the future has in store. You harbored life within you. You will never understand why what happened to you happened, but there is so much unknown in life. But one thing is greatly known, and something that you should never be forgotten is that you are a mother. Don't forget that. Celebrate yourself today. Celebrate that you are capable. You are enough. You are always going to be enough. When the time is right, you'll be able to show the world how amazing of a mother you are. Forget the world. Prove it to yourself. You deserve it. Love you, Jessie. Who sent you this?
My friend Becca.
Oh, you were just in her wedding, you know? Okay. That was the sweetest thing ever. And I
she
feel
never sent it. I feel like no one else remembered that I was
oh, no.
going to be
I literally
upset.
every day woke up thinking, I wonder if Jess left her house today. Like,
and you know what though? I again, like, not that I was holding a grudge against everybody, but deep down I was like, did anybody care, like, love me anymore? Like,
no,
do you know what I mean?
It's almost like so hard to be like, oh, you know, you should have been celebrating today, but you didn't. Like, I didn't want to do that to you.
Yeah.
So it's so hard. Nobody knows how to act.
Just
everyone like gets shook. Like
thinking of you today. You
yeah,
know, like
that's
hang
what's
in there. You're gonna
important.
be a mom one day.
You're
Like,
right.
that's
You're right.
You know, something small gesture. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. And like, all I can ask for from this episode was just this conversation, what you and I are doing right now. It's
I think
beautiful.
that's what's important is that you just got it out and like you said how you felt because no one would have ever known it.
It's incredible. I'm so thankful for this platform and for you and for everybody that listens and that shared it and it's amazing.
And is it weird that I'm excited for October so we could release balloons and kill more dolphins? It's terrible, right? Terrible. I just can't wait to celebrate your rainbow baby. Like
don't forget, guys, new clips air every Thursday. So see you next Thursday.
Hosted on dimlywit.com.
even though we are not your best examples,
we're the best you've got.
So cheers, bitches.
Cheers. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for updates. And if you like this clip, share it with a friend.